Hi, Steve here at Baxi Solutions Academy in Warwick for another Training Tuesday. This week we're going to be looking at element testing on our Amptec and Electromax boilers. When working on electric boilers, it's important we understand how to test the element. In this video we're going to look at how to test the correct resistance and the correct voltage to the element. So let's start by having a look at an Amptec electric boiler. We have a circuit board at the top, we have the can, and we have the elements within the can. As we can see, we have a red wire and a red wire. One is live and one is neutral. If we look round, there are other pairs of wires. There's a pair of greys, a pair of blues, and right at the back, a pair of yellows, each indicating an individual element. And we're going to look at how we test one individual element. For comparison, let's go and have a look at an Electromax, where we'll find a very similar layout. We now have a one-box solution for hot water by way of a cylinder and heating by way of an Amptec boiler built in. We have a 3 kilowatt main immersion and a 3 kilowatt boost immersion. But today we're going to concentrate on the elements in the can. We still have a can, a series of elements, exactly the same as the Amptec, and a circuit board, again, the same as the Amptec. Now let's move over to the Amptec, where I'm going to demonstrate the test procedures. So before we can start work, we need to ensure we carry out the correct safe isolation procedure for the electrical supply. As always, the first thing we're going to do is look at checking the resistance across the element. We'll do this using a multimeter. We check resistance first, because we can do this with the electrical supply isolated. It's a much safer way to test. The first thing we're going to do is select ohms on our multimeter. And then we're going to check the resistance of our multimeter leads. Mine are 2.6 ohms. So whatever the reading is, I'll subtract 2.6 away from it. These are 3 kilowatt elements, so I'm looking at about approximately 18.5 ohms for each element. Before I can test for resistance, I do need to disconnect the ends. As I said earlier, we're going to concentrate on the two red wires, the red element. We simply pull them off, and then we go across the element in ohms and see what reading we're getting. I've now got a reading of 21.8. I subtract my original 2.6, which leaves me a reading of 19.2, a perfectly acceptable reading. So now I've switched on the power so we can test for voltage. The first thing we need to consider now is safety. We need to be much more cautious whilst testing the appliance. We're going to apply a demand by switching it on. And we'll see straight away the cool light comes on, and one yellow light there has come on. That will go off in a minute. The boiler is now proving flow. It proves that by heating up a little bit and seeing if the heat moves away when the pump kicks in. So now we only have one yellow light on. That means one of the 4 elements will be on, the red element, element number 1. So we're going to check to see if we've got voltage on element number 1. I switch my multimeter to volts, and I'm going to test that at the circuit board. If we look closely, we can see element 1, element 2, element 3, and element 4. This is the neutral for element 1 and 2, and this is the neutral for element 3 and 4. Where it says element 1, we've got 235 volts. So that's the correct voltage. So we've confirmed the resistance of element 1 is correct. We've also now confirmed that the voltage to element 1 is correct. So it should now work. What we will then do is move on to test each of the other 3 elements at the circuit board when they come on. They will come on with each light at the same time. Now we'll check element 2. And again, 235 volts. Element 3, again 235 volts, and element 4. The reason I'm testing at the circuit board and not on the elements themselves is some of them are nearly impossible to get access to. Another good way to confirm the correct resistance and the correct voltage is to use an amp clamp. We secure the amp clamp to the main incoming supply, to the electric boiler, and we'll take a reading. It's a 3 kilowatt element and it's currently pulling 12.5 amps. You're looking at about 4.2 amps per kilowatt, so that's about spot on. Now you should understand how to test the element on an Amptec and Electromax electric boiler. For more information, contact your area sales manager or visit baxi.co.uk/training.